Welcome back to Swish Life Garage. Today I'm working on my Civic. This video will probably be just me doing random stuff to the Civic. I'm right now in the process of doing my window tint. I've already taken out most of the interior from the rear of the car here. What I'm going to do as of right now is take out the panels in the trunk and really clean up this rear half. There's a lot of just dirt, bugs, cobwebs and stuff already cleaned up here in the center whenever I was cleaning up some of the other interior. Tomorrow, more than likely, I'm going to do the tint for the rear here. So this is already prepped up and I've cleaned up on the upper deck, but I need to clean up on these quarters here and then also in the trunk. I also took out the seat belts because I'm going to use the water hose, especially in the back here, to just spray it on up. I am on an incline on the driveway, so a lot of the water is just going to come down here. And I have noticed this before, but you can see there's like separation from the sheet metal. I haven't taken off the bumper to see exactly what's going on there, but I'm gonna guess more than likely some rust is gonna be going on. If you look in the quarter wheel well area, it looks like they've done some work there. I'm guessing some rust in the quarter panel. So I don't know exactly, but on this other quarter panel, they've definitely pulled a dent. But good thing right now I'm not seeing any sort of big rust flakes or anything like that. I'm gonna just spray some water up in here, and then after I'm gonna put some dish soap, go over with a detail brush as much as I can, and get this thing cleaned on up. Spent a good amount of time cleaning up all in here with the soap, brush, making sure to get all the dirt out. Here, while I have access to it, I did disconnect the drain hose for the sunroof, and you could just easily pull it on out like that. And then from over here, I just moved the drain plug right here, and then just stuck in my water hose on the end and just put a lot of force in there, and that really unclogged the sunroof drain. I still got to clean the inside of the cabin whenever I take out the carpet, and probably take out the dash in the future and clean on up in there. But I think mainly a lot of the dirt is going to be coming from back there. If you guys have seen recently, I went from 17s Koenigs to these 15 GSR blades. These 15s ride a lot smoother and a lot quieter than the 17s, of course, but since it has been riding quieter, I've been hearing some more noises up in the suspension, mainly the front suspension here. I believe the noise that I'm hearing is going to be on the driver's side wheel bearing. Whenever I make a right turn and putting weight on this wheel, the wheel starts to just sound bad. It starts to sound like and also whenever I'm on certain roads, I could hear a little bit of noise coming from this side. Whenever I'm rolling, it just sounds like So I'm pretty sure that the issue is going to be on my wheel bearing. It's not super noticeable, but to a car guy like me, I definitely feel something. And if you roll up the windows all the way, you'll hear it even more pronounced. I have made another video on doing the wheel bearings and lower ball joints. That was on my 2000 Civic. Let's get right into it. I'm going to take this wheel off, get the center cap off of here, put the wheel back on so I could take off the center nut for a CV axle, and then take the wheel back off, and we'll get started on taking off the knuckle. Next thing I'm going to take off are these 17 mil bolts that hold on the caliper to the knuckle. Right there, there's one right there, and then there's going to be another one down there. Now there's two 10s that hold on this brake hose. Before I take off the caliper or move the caliper, going to need to release that. I'm going to loosen up the rotor, the disc rotor, and for this you need this impact tool to take them off, because if you guys try to take these off before, sometimes they get rusted on. This impact tool, you just mark it up to the L for left, because when you turn it, it's going to go left to loosen. You see that one came off. This one did have some rust on there. This easily took it off. Now the disc is loose. You can take off the brake caliper with the disc if you want to, honestly, but I'm going to try to loosen it up. So there's the caliper. You see, if I put some pressure on each side of this wheel hub, there's some movement in there, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be my issue. Whenever I take this out, I'm going to spin it and we'll see if it sounds all right. I've already taken off the cotter pins on the lower ball joint, the upper ball joint on the upper control arm, and then as well here on the tie rod. So I'm going to be taking those nuts off. I got this ball joint separator tool. God damn. Looks like I have another issue here, man. I have to take care of that as well. That is the upper control arm. The bushings are completely blown. I have to take off one more ball joint here, or separate it, and that's the lower ball joint. I really was not expecting the upper control arm to be like this. I was hearing a noise whenever I hit bumps and stuff. I thought it might have just been one of the bushings from the lower control arm or something like that, but this is definitely going to be that noise I was hearing. This is pretty easy to get on out. You're going to get the bolts on the top side in the engine bay. You don't have to worry about working up under here, but there is going to be some 17s, one right there, and then another one right here. But I am going to have to move this accelerator bracket, and that's just held on by 110. The upper control arm is loose, but it's getting caught up on the coil over here. I'm going to have to take off the suspension fork. I'm going to have to get the 14 back here where it holds on to the shock, and then down here for the lower pinch bolt. That is off. Should be able to just get this. And there's the upper control arm. The upper control arm that it was running on, this ball joint still has some life in it, but you can see that boot is about to tear, so that was going to need to be replaced. This is going to be trash. But the main thing that was blown out is this bushing here. This one is blown out as well, but I'm not able to just push it on out. This one just easily came on out. This is the same thing that's going on with this one. It's supposed to be a solid piece. That's why you don't want to torque it down, because if you torque it down and the angle changes, it's just going to roll and it's going to tear just like that. Here's another upper control arm from my Parts Del Sol. Parts Del Sol coming in clutch again. Del Sol and the EG platforms share the same parts pretty much, so you're able to use them. What I'm going to do first is loosen up this bolt and nut. Going to hold it from each side. Just loosen it on up. Whenever I load the suspension, I'll tighten it back up, and that's because, again, these are used, and so I don't want the suspension to get loaded up and then it's going to pivot right here. I don't want it to rip the bushings and then I have the same issue. You can see it can move now, so I'm going to install it into the car. Upper control arm mounting bolts are going to be torqued down to 40 foot-pounds. Finished up with the upper control arm. I'm going to get back to the knuckle here. First thing I need to do is get this wheel hub out. Try to set it up in a way to where I don't ruin the brake shield. Now this one is ruined. Honestly, don't care about it. But if you guys have a good brake shield, you don't want to mess it up. Just try to set it up in a certain way to where it doesn't have much movement or won't put too much of a dent in it. Get a socket or something if you have a pole or part of a pole and able to hit on it. You got to make sure you have it high enough off the ground to where when you hit it, it is going to actually go down and not just stay inside. Now for the bearing, there is going to be like a big snap ring you got to take off. I'm going to go ahead and take this brake shield on off. Have a bit of an issue here. I got sent the wrong part. It's way too small, and so as of now I'm going to use the knuckle off my Del Sol. Since the upper control arm is in there, I can put the suspension fork back on. I'm going to replace this bolt. It looks like it's been over tightened. I'm not sure if you could tell on camera, but it's definitely leaning to the side. And for now, just going to loosely put that on there till I put load on the suspension, and then I'll tighten everything on up. I did not end up using the Del Sol knuckle just because it did not work with the brakes I have. This bracket right here that's on the knuckle was shorter. I wasn't able to bolt up the caliper on there. What I ended up doing is just pressing back the hub onto the bearing, put the snap ring back on and everything. Hopefully, I mean, it was spinning and it felt fine. It actually felt better than when I had taken it off when you guys had seen it. That's what I'm gonna have to do for now while I wait for the correct parts. But as you can see, I do have some load on the suspension. I've already tightened down everything here, but I want to show you guys on tightening down the control arm, upper control arm. This is going to be the position that you wanted it to be in. I have a ratcheting wrench and I have a regular wrench, 14s, both 14s. I'm gonna hold one in while I tighten up the other. If I had to guess, it's probably only going to be about 20-25 foot-pounds. Just till it stops, should be good. That was just kind of annoying me. There's other little noises that I hear that are parts that are loose or parts that need to get replaced. Now, an issue I have been noticing is that the engine starts to eat up the coolant pretty quickly. I've noticed that it was eating up the coolant when I started driving the car, and it wasn't too much. I'll just check it about every week, week and a half, and add some coolant in there. But recently, if I do about 30 miles on the car, I'll have to check the coolant, add some coolant, because if not, the car will start to overheat. There's already been about 3 or 4 times to where the car starts to go about halfway or above halfway on the temperature gauge, and I had to quickly pull over and add some coolant into the system. So really, as of now, the coolant is getting burned up too quick, too soon for me. I'm actually going to stop dailing this vehicle. I could really get into some issues out on the street, and the head gasket get even worse. I might have coolant mixing with the water or some other issues with the motor. I still want to keep this motor in working condition. I want to fix it before I start dailing it some more. I've already put about 4,500 miles, and honestly, luckily it was a good shakedown. I got quite a bit of issues fixed. There's still some other things, but a lot of the stuff that needed immediate attention had already been fixed now, besides the head gasket. I still got the interior, the rear section gutted from tinting up the windows. So I'm just putting everything back into the car so I don't lose stuff and just get it ready. It's just kind of something unexpected, or something that kind of rapidly went downhill. I just want to update you guys with, you know, with real situations that are going on to the vehicle. So here in nature, the Civic will be able to think about what it wants to do once it feels better. Just driving the Civic over here, it started to overheat a little bit and blew off the overflow hose off of the radiator. Well, luckily I'm able to switch it on out. Here I'm gonna park it. I already have parts inside of it that I have built up in typical car guy fashion, and also while it's sitting, I'll probably do some other things here and there before I bring it back on the road. This is going to be the end of this video, just letting the car rest and letting you guys know about the issue that it's having on just burning up the coolant, having a blown head gasket. Before I end this video, I want to show you guys what I picked up. I picked this up a couple of months ago. I'm probably going to guess about 6 months ago. And it's another Civic, a 99 Civic. This one is basically the spec I've always wanted, exterior being white and interior being the gray. But this one is an automatic, but you know, of course the automatics are pretty much always going to be cleaner than the manual cars, because by now a lot of people have beat on them. This Civic does have 222,000 miles, but it does have AC, heat, the works pretty much, and it has tint. And still I got to touch up some things, you know. It's not perfect, just like any older car. This one being automatic, for now I'm just going to be in my grandpa mode and just enjoy the AC and the comfort of being on stock suspension. I will make a video following this on showing you more of the car, clean it on up, and we'll take a deeper look into it. But I just want to show you of what I'm switching it out for at this moment. If you're interested in this one as well, check out the channel. Make sure you are subscribed. Check out some of the videos on this Civic, and I do have my 2000 Civic I made videos on, so this is just following up on that. Just all the parts I've collected, I'm going to be able to put it onto this one. So check out those videos, guys. I'm gonna have to catch you on the next one, player.